West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you this show live daily weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Muschen. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone, an educator, student, business, or organization from our greater West Bloomfield community going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen and fill out the Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and reasons why you think they should be recognized here on the Splash Live for our Person of the Week. Now let's go check out what's going on in our greater West Bloomfield community. The first ongoing event is the West Bloomfield Township Public Library events. They host a ton of fun and educational virtual events for the residents of West Bloomfield in all age groups. On Thursday at 10:30 a.m., they will be holding their virtual show and tell for preschoolers. In this program, your child will learn how to communicate their ideas and answer questions from instructors and other peers about their show and tell item. For these events, you can go to the West Bloomfield Township Public Library website at wblib.org. Our next event is the Connect Center events. The Connect Center at Orchard Mall in West Bloomfield has a ton of great events and activities for seniors in our community. Some of those events coming up are their Nature Walk at dusk this Wednesday tonight. You can walk around and hike with the animals and enjoy being active at dusk. The walk will be an easy terrain hike that will only be about a mile long. You may be able to even spot some animals and learn more about them from a West Bloomfield Parks naturalist. This is a great way to get active and enjoy the warm weather while we still have it. They also have an upcoming Senior Resource Group Talk Time event tonight. The Senior Resource Group is a network of professionals connected through the West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce to look to connect seniors and families with knowledge and resources on relevant topics in today's environment. The specific talk time tonight is Keep on the Beat to Better Your Health, where you'll be able to get active by working out with Dina Raptis from Drums Alive. You can talk about financial health and taxes with representatives from Block Advisors and talk about safety for seniors with Chief Patton from the West Bloomfield Police Department. For all these events, you can head over to the West Bloomfield Parks website under the registration tab and click on the event of your choosing and register through there. They also have a ton of great drop-in classes at the Connect Center if you're looking to either play ping pong or get active with one of their workout classes. Our last event we want to look at is the Silverlink Game Night events. This event is perfect if you're looking for something fun to do this winter. Whether you go alone or with friends, the Silverlink Game Nights are a great way to socialize safely with your neighbors and friends. Silverlink Game Nights take place every Wednesday when there is not a Silverlink board meeting in the community center. Game night will start at 5:30 p.m. and will go to about 9 p.m. at the community center. They have a ton of great games, including Mahjong and Euchre. You can learn how to play those from the other group members there. This event is open to all Silverlink residents. You're also welcome to bring any family and friends that you wish. You're also welcome to bring any board or card games that you would like if you don't want to play something that they have there. If you have an event you would like us to feature here on the Splash Live, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, I'll be talking with Chris Darcy, Executive Assistant at West Bloomfield Town Hall. But before that, for the past 4 years, the 4 community leaders in Greater West Bloomfield have come together to address topics that are impacting our community. For the 4th annual State of the Communities Address, I got to ask local leaders from Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Keiko Harbor, and West Bloomfield about the updates in the community over the past year. Let's go check out what the leaders had to say about how the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted their communities and where they're headed into 2022. For the 4th annual State of the Communities Address, the 4 community leaders from Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Keiko Harbor, and West Bloomfield got together to talk about important issues that are impacting our communities. Let's find out what they had to say about the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, as any other community has been plagued by the coronavirus, it's now been 24 months, and it really is a game changer. It changed nearly everything we do, including our interactions with one another and the public. But fortunately, we, like many cities and townships, we instituted measures, Maddie, trying to keep everybody safe. And we're pleased to say of the 97 employees at Town Hall, only 17 contracted COVID and nobody was seriously ill. But as COVID is winding down, at least we think, the coronavirus, I think there are permanent changes. For example, we have our plexiglass at the windows where we meet the public. I think they're there to stay. I think people are much more vigilant and diligent, Maddie, about keeping clean, hand sanitizing, and social distancing.
Last year and the prior year, we had residents step up and organize events that brought us hope and solidarity through another difficult year. We saw things like a monthly glow roll, blood drives, Wednesday game and yoga night, and those are just some of the events that made last year memorable. Our Parks and Rec maintains an active schedule. They organized a Christmas tree lighting and a menorah lighting. They organized a haunted trail on the Clinton River Trail, a euchre tournament and chili cook-off that they've been doing for a long time, an adult field day, and we celebrated our 100th year since becoming a village, but we did become a city in 1947.
Well, when it first started, of course, we closed our city hall except by appointment, and that worked for a while, and then things started to open up. And so we did, in fact, have a mask mandate. We put up some plexiglass shields, and we were able to accommodate our people that needed to come in. So that worked out fine. Unfortunately, in recent months, COVID has really run through our staff and our police department. Fortunately, nobody was terribly sick, but some people got it twice, and it just was something we had to deal with, but we never stopped our ability to help our citizens when they needed our services.
We were greatly affected by the pandemic. Wearing of masks. We did City Hall by appointment only for quite a while. And even now, staffing is somewhat of a problem. We worked with Oakland County quite a bit to help our restaurants. And so I think our staff really did a fantastic job working their way through it. Our public safety department.
To check out more, you can head over to civiccentertv.com and watch the entire 4th Annual State of the Communities address on our on-demand page. Reporting for The Splash Live, I'm Maddie Muschin. If you want to check out the entire State of the Communities address and hear more about COVID-19, infrastructure, and community programs, you can head over to civiccentertv.com or go to our YouTube page to watch the entire 4th Annual State of the Communities. Later on, we'll be taking a look at how you can continue to support Black and minority-owned businesses in our community and why it is so important to community leaders here in Greater West Bloomfield. But before that, we will be talking with Chris Darcy, Executive Assistant at West Bloomfield Town Hall. All that and more after this short break.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Teens a day die from texting and driving. Don't text and drive.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Muschin. It's now time to talk about what's going on in our West Bloomfield community with our representative from Town Hall. Joining us today is Chris Darcy, Executive Assistant for West Bloomfield. Chris, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Maddie. Thanks for having me.
Chris, can we start to talk about the GFL invoices and some of the issues and the clarification for our West Bloomfield residents that may have some questions about that?
Yeah, definitely. GFL Environmental is our waste hauling service that the township contracts with. We are a single hauler community, meaning we don't have, several different waste hauling services driving up and down the roads and in and out of different communities throughout the year. It's less wear and tear on the roads. So recently, GFL invoiced the residents for their annual service. It's not part of our taxes like it is in a lot of communities, part of the taxes that you pay. In West Bloomfield, it's a separate invoice directly to the homeowners. So recently, I would say about a week ago, the invoices went out in the mail, and they also went out. Some people are signed up online to receive digital email invoicing. And I just like to clarify it if I can, because it is, I will admit, this is one of the things that Steve Kaplan, the township supervisor, and myself, we work on very closely. So I know that it is a complex thing, and it confuses people a lot every year. So one of the things I wanted to mention was that there are different rates depending on if you're just, if you're a citizen, a resident in a home that receives the trash hauling, waste service removal of the trash, recycling, and compost, which is your yard waste. Those individuals are going to pay, they were billed $61.08 quarterly, but they do have the option of paying and receiving a discounted rate if they want to pay all up front by April 15th. They would pay $225.48. There is also a discounted rate, and there's a pay in full rate that's discounted for senior citizens. That would be anyone in the township that's 62 years or older. And their invoices would have read, the quarterly invoice would have been for $58.08. And if they choose to pay annually all up front to get the discount instead of quarterly, then instead of paying $58.08, they would pay $213.48. It is all spelled out on the invoice along with a separate letter that went out, but it can be very confusing. So I was hoping that I could just clarify some of that today.
And Chris, for the GFL waste hauling services, you talked about how you can get the waste hauling, the composting, and the recycling. Are there different options if you just want to pick one or mix and match?
No, actually, there's not really a different option for that. It's just a flat fee depending on your address and depending on, for instance, there are some people that live in condo associations that have condominiums. Their HOAs pay a separate company to come and pick up their compost, cut the grass, take care of all the lawn maintenance, and therefore GFL does not collect their yard waste at all. Those residents that only receive trash hauling and recycling services, those are people that are considered condos. So they live in a condo association that takes care of that for them. And those people would not have yard waste pickup services because their homeowners association already pays a separate company to do all of that for them and haul it away for them, so they don't have to deal with that at all. And those individuals are actually invoiced a different amount. Those individuals that happen to be considered a condo, they are invoiced $54.63 quarterly. Or if they're a senior citizen, 62 or older, they get invoiced $51.63 quarterly. They can also pay, by April 15th to receive a discounted amount, which was explained in the letter that went out to them along with their invoicing. But basically, it's not like a situation where you have to call or call for, a special service. But the only thing they can do, if they have a special service or a question about an item they want to put out, like a large item, they can call the town hall building and speak to Steve Kaplan or myself, and we could give GFL the heads up that they're going to have a special item out. So it could be a mattress, an old refrigerator, a couch or a love seat or something like that.
Chris, for those payments and the invoices that the residents here in West Bloomfield have gotten either on the mail or if they are going to be paying online, could you just walk us through the process of if someone got an invoice in the mail, how they can pay that, and also maybe a little bit of information on how to pay online?
Yeah, definitely. So you can pay GFL directly. The invoicing, the paperwork that came out gave them the full address. You can either mail them a check for whatever amount it is that you choose to pay and put it in the mail to them, or you can go online to their website, which is GflENV.com. So it's Green for Life Environmental. So GflENV.com. If you go onto their website, there is an area where you can pay your invoice. We have received a couple of calls. So when you go to their website to pay your invoice, the amount that will show up on the screen once you enter your account number is going to be it's going to show the quarterly amount. So for instance, it could show 6108 for a resident, or it could show 5808 if you're a senior citizen. But at any rate, if you don't want to pay that quarterly amount and you want to take advantage of the discount, the pay in full discount by April 15th, all you have to do is put your cursor down. There's a way to pay an additional amount, like to enter manually your own amount, and you would just manually enter the appropriate amount. So you would either enter the $225.48 or the $213.48, or whatever your amount happens to be. You can just enter manually the amount that you want to pay. And I know that they do take Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express.
Chris, as we wrap up here, is there anything else that you wanted to share with our viewers about those GFL invoices, or anything else going on in the West Bloomfield Township that you want to share?
With the closing remark, the only thing I'd like to say is that we empathize. We know that it's a confusing invoicing system and payment system that they do have, but we're here to help you. And if you want to call Steve Kaplan or myself directly, and we can try to walk you through it or answer any questions you might have, just give us a call at 248-451-4845, or that's my direct number, or they can call Steve Kaplan directly at 248-409-1581, and we'll be happy to help you with any questions or anything at all.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you joining us this morning and giving us some more clarification on those GFL invoices that our residents got.
Thank you.
Once again, I was joined by Chris Darcy, Executive Assistant at West Bloomfield Town Hall, telling us a little bit more about those GFL invoices and how you can go and pay for those. Although Black History Month has ended, there are still many ways that you can support Black-owned businesses in our community. We talked to a few members of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force who are Black business professionals about how important it is to continue to support minority-owned businesses in our greater West Bloomfield community. Let's go check it out. Although Black History Month has concluded as we enter March, the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force provided a great opportunity for Black and minority-owned businesses to present their products at the Black Expo. This event allowed business owners to network with others that will continue to help them throughout the year. We talked with some of the members of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force about why this is so important to these business owners.
It personally touches my heart to be able to have a lot of representation of our community and share the area with so many different talented, so many different individuals that work so hard. So it's nice to have a lot of collective minds in one room, and it's nice to just be a nice piece of the puzzle. It's a great event for the community.
And we wanted to figure out a way to really showcase the diverse businesses, entrepreneurs, and the resources that we had in the area. So we thought an expo would be a perfect way to do it. We started off thinking, all right, if we could get 7 to 10 vendors, we'll be doing great. And now we have over 30 vendors at this event today. And it's really important for this community to recognize that all of us come together in West Bloomfield to make it the wonderful place that it is to live. And it's good to understand that businesses can exist in different forms. You can have large companies, smaller companies, and owned by diverse people. And that's what we're really excited about this event, and really be able to showcase and highlight what we have here.
So it's, again, very exciting to, it really means so much that we have an opportunity to really showcase our talents inside the city of West Bloomfield. The diversity has really increased with our city in the last decade, so it's super nice to bring it all together in a community and just share so much talent and so much ability that we have and make it noticeable to not only the city of West Bloomfield, but the surrounding areas around it, and showcase that we have so much talent, so much ability, and be able to have it inside of Black History Month. It just wraps it all together. So it's great to have a collaboration of great, intelligent minds inside of Orchard Mall, representing the city of West Bloomfield.
We also talked to Ralph Tompkins, owner of Swag Kids Gym, about what it means to him to be able to showcase and promote his business to the community.
As a minority owner, it's super exciting to me to have people come to our gym from different backgrounds and respect what we do while having respect for others and sharing a space and becoming passionate about exercise. Something that I'm super proud of, and it's great to be a part of this expo right here. So super excited. Thank you so much.
If you're curious about how you can support Black and minority-owned businesses in our community, you can reach out to the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force for more information. Reporting for the Splash Live, I'm Maddie Mustian. Thank you again to West Bloomfield Parks and the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force for putting on such a great event to highlight Black and minority-owned businesses in our community. Joining us now are some great students from West Bloomfield High School who recently competed in the broadcast news production competition and placed first. Kendall, Kae'yanna, and Austin, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you.
So could you first explain to our audience about the competition? What exactly did you guys compete in? And tell us a little bit about the certain segment that you guys put your video in for.
Yeah, so we competed in Business Professionals of America, which is a larger national competitive thing. And specifically for the state of Michigan, we competed in the broadcast news team program. And we put together our own little news show. We covered a story about the COVID vaccines for children back in November and how our school was helping the Oakland Animal Shelter with some food donations. So we put together the whole show, and then we went and presented on it, and we placed first.
And then can you tell our audience a little bit about the preparation that went into putting together this video, and if you guys did that in your classes at school, or if that was something that was an extracurricular activity?
So we did it both in school and out of school. It took about a good month for us to get everything together with the research we put into it and filming everything and getting all the interviews.
And then can you tell us a little bit too, for our viewers that maybe haven't seen the video, you guys have a pretty cool digital news setup there. What is that like, and does it take a little bit of getting used to?
Yeah, it definitely does get a little getting used to. We've been in the program for 4 years, so we're all very fortunate for having the skills needed to work with all the equipment, but it definitely does come with its challenges from time to time.
I would say Austin is more of the expert on that more than anyone else in this room.
I usually teach everyone from their new classes and still these classes, even though people have been doing it for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then the research that went into those stories, what was the process of figuring out what type of stories to cover and the production, and then to put those back into the final segment to show in the competition?
It took us a while to kind of narrow it down to our stories, but we took a look at what was happening in Michigan as a whole rather than like nationally. And we saw at that time that we were recording this that COVID cases in children specifically were really high, especially since the vaccine was available to them. So we took a look at that. And then we also wanted to do something very much local that's going on within our school, which was our donations.
And then you guys are seniors, correct?
Yes.
Can you talk about your career aspirations heading into college or post high school? Is this something that you guys want to pursue career-wise, or is it just a fun extracurricular that you guys get to do at West Bloomfield High School?
At first, I had it as an extracurricular because I thought it was like fun. I did it beforehand, like in a different program. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. So I learned that we had it here. So I thought it would be fun. And then now, since I'm a senior, I feel like I'm going to go into broadcast news, like the behind the stage stuff.
I also feel like I want to pursue a career in this, but I'm also majoring in international relations and international business. So I think I definitely keep the experience I had here and might go to trade school for it.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely started as an extracurricular. I never imagined going into it, but now I am double majoring in education and broadcast.
Well, very fun. And then you guys took first place. How did it feel to take first place in the competition out of all of those great schools and programs that were competing in the BPA competition?
It was shocking.
Yeah.
It was very shocking. I wasn't expecting to even place, but to place first, I was really surprised and grateful.
We were actually the last school called up for awards. And so I think we all kind of expected us to get like, maybe like the bottom 4 that get an award, but as third got called up, it was mostly just like a feeling of excitement and anxiety that we could place first or second.
It was just shocking. Like we didn't believe in ourselves. And I guess we should have believed in ourselves a bit more.
Yeah.
And then to talk with those other students at the Business Professionals of America conference, did you guys meet any other students who are in broadcasting? And tell us a little bit about some of the other schools that were there.
I didn't meet anyone in broadcast. Did you guys?
No.
I had a cousin that I didn't know that went there, which I was shocked because like a couple hours after, he texted me that he was there. I was just shocked, and they said they just built the program and they got 4th just the year. This year, so it was shocking.
Then like I met a couple other people doing other competitions, and just hearing about the other types of things BPA does was really cool because I had no idea BPA existed until this year.
Yeah.
And guys, as we wrap up, can you give us a little bit of insight into what you guys are working on right now after winning first place in the competition?
Yeah, so I am working on a story about the new bill that Florida just passed. And I'm doing a lot of research with that.
We're getting stuff set up for our fundraiser for our new middle school. So we're getting like all the video set up, all the technology set up. It's a long process.
I'm working on, along with the fundraiser, we do like a bi-monthly game show here at the high school that I pretty much am in charge in. So I will be working on that to come out in April.
Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and a big congratulations from our staff here at Civic Center TV for winning first place in the competition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, I was joined by those very talented West Bloomfield High School students, Kendall, Kae'yanna, and Austin, who placed first place in that competition over the last weekend. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you to Chris Darcy and those students from West Bloomfield High School for joining us this morning. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom and making sure our guests joined us. As always, a huge thank you to Calvin Brown, our board operator, for making the show possible each and every morning. And thank you for joining me as we explored all of the great people and events in our greater West Bloomfield community. As always, you can make sure to tune in live on Civic Center TV, on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99, Monday through Friday at 9:30 to catch up on what's going on in our greater West Bloomfield community. You can also watch our show every morning on My Michigan TV. It's the new streaming service that covers all of the great people and events happening around Michigan. You can either head over to mymytv.com or you can download the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone or smart TV. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Keego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Muschin. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.
If you are struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary